So I already reviewed the Nerf Rival Knockout. As fun as a blaster that was, it was not war practical by any means. So, is there a rival pistol that's actually good for a practical Nerf war? Turns out, there is. Hey guys, SirMikay here. This is a video review on the Nerf Rival Kronos. Let's get right into it. If you buy the blaster new, you can expect to find the blaster itself, 5 rounds, and the instructions included. However, I do not have the instructions on hand. I've lost them since I got it. External overview of the blaster, starting up at the front. There's no one-strike barrel lug. This is a Rival blaster. Above that, we have the front iron sight, corresponding with the rear iron sight. Now, these are a complete pair, so technically you can use them, but judging by how accurate the Rival rounds are, these sights are pretty vague for that, and I personally will not be using them because of that. But they're also not like super in your face or anything, so if you don't want them, just don't use them. Moving back, we have a Rival style rail here, and also on top of the priming handle. Now, the Rival attachment mechanism is not the same as the N-Strike attachment mech, and technically you can fit N-Strike attachments on Rival rails, but they're not as smooth, seeing as how they weren't built for Rival rails. And even the attachments that were built for Rival just have an overall looser fit and can snap off way more easily, so I really don't recommend anybody buy them under any circumstances, since not only are they more prone to snapping off, but they also don't perform well than N-Strike attachments, and they're more expensive, so I don't recommend anybody get officially branded Rival attachments by any means. If you are going to attach anything to a Rival blaster, buy a Picatinny rail converter to convert it to something like a real firearm rail, and then maybe get a real attachment for them. Of course, unless it's a real, firearm attachment that can actually damage someone. Behind that, we have the access door. This is a completely pointless part of the blaster. It's not necessary for anything, and technically it does make it look a bit smoother. I mean, without it here, it doesn't really look as smooth, but come on, this doesn't really benefit at all, and it just adds an extra step to loading. What is even the point? I mean, sure, you can just have it open at all times, but then you can't aim since it obstructs your front iron sight, so I don't know. A more permanent solution to it would just be to rip it out with mods, but not everybody's into that stuff, and I respect that, since I have actually failed multiple modification projects in the past. But opening up the access door reveals the internal magazine. To get there, you have to have the access door up and the priming handle in the backwards position, and then you can load in 5 Rival rounds. Then once you've gotten your Rival rounds, you can just shut the breech, close the access door, and fire away. Moving back, we have the priming handle. This is a pretty decent prime. It's in line with other Rival blasters in terms of weight, so yeah, that's pretty normal if you're a Rival only user, but if you've also used dart blasters by Nerf, then you can expect this to be noticeably more difficult to prime than an Elite or N-Strike blaster. And, well, it's a Rival blaster. It was designed to shoot harder. But, yeah, to make priming easier, they added in these little grips on each side of the priming handle. So, if you ever struggle to prime it, you can just use these little grips, and that makes it easier to prime. I already covered the rail and the rear iron sight on top of the priming handle, but on the back of it, we have a priming indicator. When it's black, you're not primed, and when it's orange, you're primed. And due to the lighting right now, you can't really tell that well, but if I were in a room with better lighting, you definitely could. And yeah, it's actually not a very vague priming indicator either. You can really tell whether you're primed or not. Below that, we have the unjamming button. You can use this to clear out a jam if you experience one, which I have not. However, you can also use this to your advantage and shotgun load the blaster, and load 2 or maybe even 3 rounds at once if you're really confident that it'll work. But if you're loading in 3 rounds at once, I do want to warn you that it may not fire all 3, and it may not fire at all. Now down to the grip. Overall, this is a pretty comfortable grip for an adult hand, and Rival's grips are generally bigger than many of the other grips out there. So yeah, it's pretty comfortable on most hands. And as for the trigger pull, it's pretty standard, very smooth. The blaster does not have slam fire. At the bottom of the grip, we have a sling mount, and above the trigger guard, we have a safety switch. This is only present on the left-hand side, and not the right, as you can see. But when it's in the down position, your blaster is locked, and when it's up, you're able to pull the trigger and fire. Of course, it would help if I had it primed. That's an external overview. Let's see it fire. Shooting standard yellow Rival rounds, aiming at the center of that garage door. That's my firing demo for the Nerf Rival Kronos. As you can see, it performs pretty well, shoots hard, and shoots accurately. I also did not experience any jams or malfunctions with the blaster whatsoever, so that's also a good thing to note. It seems to be shooting on par with other Rival blasters, which the par is 90 to 100 feet per second in terms of velocity, so it's pretty good that it's not shooting below average. I think this may very well be the perfect Rival secondary. That's all the objective information I can provide on this blaster. Now to my personal opinion. Do I like it or do I think it's hot garbage? Of course not. I love this blaster. I love everything about it. It performs smoothly, it does not jam or malfunction whatsoever. It shoots hard and accurately out of the box, and the only real thing you need to modify are this pointless access door, first of all, and secondly, you really don't need to modify anything else. All you need to do is buy spare ammo for it, and you're good to go. I definitely recommend that any real Nerfer get this. However, if you're just a casual Nerfer and you don't want to hurt anyone, maybe this is better for outdoor play than it is for indoors. If you shoot it recklessly throughout the house, then you're definitely going to break something of yours that might be valuable, so just don't do that. But if you're all based on outdoor blaster performance, then totally get this. It is worth your buck. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up my review on the Kronos. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been SirMikay. Peace.